on behalf of NA and the local NA community, we want to thank you for the relationship that we have with you, and just thank you for your interest and support in Narcotics Anonymous. This presentation today is part of our strategy and part of our tactical task that we do locally and nationally to make sure that NA is seen as a credible, viable resource in the community. And we actually depend on the relationships that we create and sustain over a period of time to help us do that. I think it's one of those, it's a mutually beneficial relationship. At least we hope that it is. And so your participation today further enhances that. So I'm gonna share a little bit about who we are. We are a nonprofit, international, community-based organization, just to be there for people and supporting a drug-free life, and people that think they might have a problem with drugs. And we'll get a little bit more into that as we go through this. This slide gives you a real general visual of where we are in the world. We are a multilingual, multicultural organization in just about every continent in the world, including the Middle East and the Far East and Asia. We're still evolving in Africa and some parts of Asia, but we are established and making inroads and building local NA communities. We have over, as it says, over 76,000 meetings a week worldwide. We are in 144 countries, and our literature is translated in 55 languages. I wish it was 144 languages, but it's 55 languages, and we're currently working on 16 more. So NA is fully established in a lot of major cities and towns around the world. So let's talk about who are the members of NA. Anyone, we believe, who wants to stop using drugs or think they might have a drug problem is welcome in our program. We focus on the disease of addiction, not a particular substance. We are disease specific and not drug specific. And anyone who feels like they have that problem or want to research that and find out more information about it is welcome. Membership is free of charge. We have no dues or fees. No insurance is required to attend our meetings and become a member. We have no membership restrictions based on social, religious, economic, racial, ethnic, or national, or gender. None of those restrictions apply. Anyone can join our program. This slide talks a little bit about anonymity, which is a key principle of our program. It's so important that it's actually half of our name. But what this principle really means to our members is that when people first come to our meetings, there's some hesitancy, and sometimes some fear of being found out or by an employer or some sort of legal repercussion. And so people come to our meetings and we don't ask where they come from or what they've done in the past. We want people to feel free to come to our meetings and feel safe. And so we adhere to a strict policy of we don't tell who's in the meetings. We don't keep membership rolls. If someone wants to expose themselves or share that they're a member of NA, that's totally up to them. We also believe that people come to our meetings. No one is better than or less than. No one, no matter what their social economic background or education, no one has more of an opportunity to recover than anyone else. because we believe recovery is based on what a person does, not what they look like, not where they come from, not what they've done. And all of our members treat each other equally with that same principle in mind. So let's talk about what is an NA group. Well, these points kind of give you an idea of the consistency of our groups. There, we have a principle of autonomy within Narcotics Anonymous, and groups may do things a little different. The formats of the meeting might be a little different. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But these points really give some consistency, that all members are drug addicts of the meeting. The meeting is fully self-supporting. We don't take outside contributions. There's only one purpose that meeting is there for, and that is to help people recover from the disease of addiction and give them a place to come to. We're not affiliated with other organizations. We certainly welcome and need cooperation such as we have with you, but when we stay non-affiliated with those other organizations and what their mission might be. We certainly don't express opinions on outside issues. We take, and that's either pro or con. We take almost a neutral position on any kind of issue that might drag us into a camp that we don't want to be, because we believe that to take a position on any issue can put us at odds with another group of people who might need to find our program. So we don't express those kind of issues or opinions. We believe that the best thing that we can do is be a program of attraction. And that is, I think that the thousands and thousands of lives that have been changed as a result of NA and people living drug-free, productive lives is an attraction within itself. And those kind of things, we don't need to make any kind of extravagant promotion of who we are, what we can do. We believe that that's the best message itself, is in the way our individual members live. And we take surveys, internal membership surveys, and one of those things about attraction is usually the two highest rated areas of improvement are family relationships and social connections. So that in itself is something that other people see and can be an attraction and can be something that people might want to get involved with. NA meetings, this is a little bit of information about NA meetings. If you choose to go to a meeting, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but the primary mission or purpose of that meeting is to provide a safe place for members to come and share their personal experiences. It provides mutual support. Some of the things that I alluded to earlier about the meeting being funded by member contributions. We don't accept outside contributions. Usually the meetings are at the same time and place each week, and that varies because, I mean, that's a point of consistency. But the other, I believe, benefit is that meetings happen at all hours of the day. And so people that might be employed, non-employed, a student, they may have places to come to a meeting. When I came to NA, I worked third shift. I worked from 12 to 8, and I got off in the morning, and there was an 8 o'clock meeting that I could go to. It fit my schedule. So while it might be at the same place each week and the same time, there's some variation in that can appeal to people that might be a student or might be working third shift, such as I was. We have open meetings that are open to the general public. I don't know if any one of you have attended any of our meetings, but you're more than welcome to come and get a firsthand view of how that meeting is conducted. And as I was saying earlier, the formats might be different, but there's some consistency in the way the meeting is conducted and what goes on. So you might ask, well, how does our program work? Our program is really built on going to meetings, regular meeting attendance. It's built on peer support, what we call sponsorship. It is built on the 12 steps of our program, which are our spiritual principles, and going to meetings and working with other members and sharing experiences allows them to, someone new, to learn how to take those spiritual principles and apply them in their daily lives. And first of all, not using, and then learning to live a life that's based on honesty, open-mindedness, willingness, those kind of things. What we provide is a recovery process that's coupled with a peer support network. And it gives people support not only at the meeting, but it gives them support when they're not at a meeting. These are some helpful NA terms, just so if you're working with a member or someone who might be interested in Narcotics Anonymous, at least you'll have an idea of some of the terms that we use. Starting out with addict, and this is a term we refer to ourselves this way because again, our program is disease specific and not drug specific. And I alluded to our basic text that contains the core ideas, and a lot of our other literature comes from some of the principles and some of the things found in that book. We have informational pamphlets that just provide basic information about different issues and different topics. And these are just terms that it's just helpful to know so that you'll have an idea of when someone speaks about NA and what happened with them and their experience. You'll have you'll have a point of reference. Sharing during the meetings, and this is, again, if you ever went to an open meeting, you'll have an idea of what happens during the meetings, but people share on their personal recovery and things going on in their lives and things that might be going on in their lives that would impact their ability to stay clean and that impacts their recovery. We ask that non-members are not share in the meetings, and usually people share once, just to given the limitations in time and given more than one person a chance to share. Excuse me. The most of the meeting is focused on addiction. We discourage and usually refrain from sharing a lot of specific details, particularly around drug use, because whenever a member shares about a particular drug and focuses on that, it tends to separate them from other people because all of us didn't do the same drug. It's addiction is what we are concerned about, and how people can learn to live with this disease and learn to live a productive life. So we try to keep the focus on that. Newcomers that are new to NA, we encourage them to listen. And one of the reasons that it's good to listen is that while they're there, we're encouraging them to find a sponsor. And we're going to talk a little bit about that in the next slide. But the way to do that is to listen. And me, as a member of Narcotics Anonymous, my first responsibility in any meeting that I go to, my first responsibility is to listen. Because one of the things that the principles that make our program so successful, and certainly for me in my time here, is the principle of empathy and putting myself in someone else's shoes. And that comes from listening, and not just listening with my ears, but listening with my heart as well, and being able to relate and identify with someone else. So listening is just so important, whether it's a newcomer or whether someone that's like myself that's been in the program for a long time. Sponsorship. We believe that one member can best understand and help another member. And we encourage people when they come to listen for a sponsor, someone that could be of support to them, someone that they can talk to outside the meeting, someone who they can depend on for support, someone that can help them understand the principles of our program and learn to apply them in their lives. What does a sponsor do? As a sponsor, my primary responsibility is to support the men that have asked me to be their sponsor. You know, and it provides that peer support, even though it's not a mandate or a rule. Most of our members have found it helpful that men work with men and women work with women. And the analogy I like is that because it provides another degree or level of identification. And you know, the analogy I like to use, if I want to learn how to learn how to play baseball, I need to talk to a baseball player. And if I want to learn how to play football, I need to talk to a football player. So me coming to Narcotics Anonymous and being new, if I want to learn how to live this, to not only not use a drug, but to improve my life based on the principles, spiritual principles of this program, I need to find someone to help me, someone who's got more experience in that than me, that can help me do that. The best way to get a sponsor is, number one, listen for someone and look at people that might seem to be reasonably happy and have some experience in the program. And then go up after a meeting and talk to them and get a phone number and do some follow-up with that person and talk to them. The best place to find a sponsor is in an NA meeting. We have other NA events that certainly provide that opportunity, but the best place to find one is an NA meeting. And to, again, listen and talk to people. We also have literature that's specifically about this topic, about sponsorship and how to find one. What am I looking for in a sponsor? Those kind of things that people can use to help them in that endeavor. So again, thank you guys for listening and giving me an opportunity to present that basic information.